Not all discomfort is a signal to run. Some of it is a thread back to truth. Hey, it's Veronica, and welcome back to the podcast. Today's episode is a return to the place we often forget, the seat behind the stories. In the Yoga Sutras, the word asana is usually translated as posture, but its original meaning is seat, a steady, grounded place of awareness. And the truth is, we're always sitting in some seat. The ego, the mind, the ache of the past, the performance of the present. And beneath it all, there's a deeper seat, a quieter one, the seat of consciousness itself. In this reflection, we're not just talking about stillness, we're exploring what it means to return to the seat of truth, the one that allows you to feel, to stay, to witness, even when discomfort arises. We'll explore the difference between ego's urgency and the soul's patience, and how to listen to the body without attaching to the story, and why your soul will never ask you to bypass your humanness, but to move through it. So, if you've ever felt like your mind was pulling you in 1,000 directions, or if you've mistaken physical discomfort for a reason to leave yourself, this reflection is for you. Let's take a breath. When most people hear the word asana, they picture a pose: downward dog, warrior two, lotus, mountain pose. But originally, asana wasn't about perfecting shapes. It meant seat, a steady, grounded position to which to be. Patanjali wrote, Sthira Sukham Asanam. The seat should be steady and easeful, not rigid, not performative, but rooted, present. That seat wasn't just a cushion or a cross-legged position. It was the place in you where you could become still enough to listen, to feel, to witness. In this way, asana is more than a posture. It's a portal, a way to remember where you're living from and where you're being called to return. So before we go any further, pause. Feel your body in this moment. Can you feel your seat against the chair, the floor, the ground beneath you? Let your sit bones drop. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath arrive. And just for now, take your seat. There are many seats we take in this life, and often we don't even realize we've taken one. Sometimes we sit in the seat of the conditioned self, the ego, the one shaped by stories we inherited but never questioned, the one trying to protect us, manage our image, stay in control. This seat is busy, very busy. It's loud. It's constantly thinking, what do they think of me? What if I fail? How do I fix this? Why am I still not enough? But this isn't who you are. It's the seat of the one trying to survive. And from that seat, everything feels personal, urgent, heavy. We forget that this chatter is not the truth. It's unresolved conflict, echoes of past experiences still seeking understanding. But here's the shift. At any moment, you can move your awareness. You can choose a different seat, the seat of the human, the one who feels pain, joy, grief, laughter, the one who can say, this is hard and I'm still here, the one who stops performing long enough to feel what's real. And behind even that, there's another seat, the seat of consciousness, not the voice in your head, but the one who hears it. not the thoughts or the feelings, but the awareness that sees them. This is the witness, the soul, the presence that doesn't flinch. It has no agenda. It just is. And it's always there, even when we forget. When you're sitting in the seat of ego, life feels like something you have to manage alone. It feels like there's no one coming, like you've been forgotten. And that is the illusion. Ego speaks through the separation it feels. It recreates that loneliness again and again, not because it's cruel, but because it's scared. Scared to surrender, scared to soften, scared to stop performing long enough to realize it's not in charge. You're not alone. You've just taken a seat that forgets. The soul, consciousness, it never leaves, but it doesn't fight for control. It doesn't interrupt. It waits like a steady flame in the center of your chest, like silence in the middle of a sound. And the moment you remember, the moment you pause and witness, you return to what was never gone, to what was always here, still, patient, whole. This isn't just about spiritual language or learning how to observe your mind. This is about the truth of why you're here. The soul didn't come to skip the experience of being human. It came to feel it, to move through it, to let the mess, the ache, the beauty, the mystery shape you into someone who remembers. The witness inside of you, consciousness, it doesn't want you to rise above your pain. It wants you to meet it, because within that meeting is meaning. You see, the ego is always looking for an escape hatch. It wants to move on, move past, move up. But the soul moves through. So when you ask for guidance and you feel discomfort rise in your body, that is the guidance. The body never lies. It doesn't speak in riddles. It shows you exactly where you're still holding on, exactly where life wants to move through you. The ego holds, the soul allows. And every time you choose to sit, not in avoidance, but in awareness, you remember why you're here, not to transcend your humanness, but to honor it. Now, in spiritual spaces, we often hear the word transcendence. But what are we really being asked to transcend? Not the human, never the human. The soul didn't come here to escape the body, it came to inhabit it, to transcend the ego. That is the invitation. Because ego isn't who you are, it's a construction, a collection of layers, identities, beliefs, and roles that were shaped by fear, by protection, by past pain. And every one of those layers tells the story. I'm separate. I'm not enough. I am broken. That story isn't true. That story is the illusion. And when we talk about transcendence, we are talking about dissolving that illusion, not to become less human, but to return to the truth of your humanness, wholeness, presence, connection. You begin to see clearly, not through the filter of fear, but through the lens of truth. And from that clear seeing, life becomes something you can finally feel fully. That's where fulfillment lives, not in becoming someone new, but in remembering who you already are. Because ego gave you what wasn't yours. The soul returns you to what always was. Take a moment now to become still. Let your body settle. Let your breath arrive. And if it feels safe, close your eyes. Begin by feeling your seat, your physical seat, the place where your body touches the earth, the chair, the floor. Let gravity hold you. Let your spine soften. You are here. Now I invite you to shift inward and begin to notice, what seat are you sitting in internally? Not your body now, but your awareness. Are you sitting in the seat of the ego, the place of judgment, control, self protection? Listen for its voice. What does it sound like? What does it want? How does your body feel when ego is driving? Let yourself feel it without fixing. Just notice. And now, gently shift. Imagine yourself stepping into a new seat, the seat of the human, the one who feels, who breathes, who grieves, and laughs, and longs. Let your breath deepen. Let your heart soften. This seat doesn't need answers. It only needs your presence. You don't have to be anything more than what you are right now. Feel what it's like to sit here in your humanness. And now, one more shift. Behind it all, there is another seat, the seat of consciousness, the one who sees, the witness, the still presence that's been here through it all. Can you feel it? The quiet, the space, the wholeness. You are not your thoughts. You are not your stories. You are the one who sees them. Rest here, just for a moment longer, in the seat behind all seats. Let yourself remember, this is who you are. And as you rest here, you may notice discomfort, a tightness in your hips, a heaviness in your chest, a flutter in your stomach. And the mind might start to whisper, you should get up. This isn't working. You're doing it all wrong. That's not your body. That's the ego trying to pull you back into the seat of avoidance. But your body doesn't need you to leave. It needs you to stay with space. Can you breathe into the tension, not to fix it, but to give it more room? Can you shift your seat, not in escape, but into deeper presence? This is not about forcing stillness. It's about listening for what's underneath. Because that discomfort, it's not a sign that you're wrong. It's a thread that leads back to something stuck, a seed you've carried, a belief, a moment, a memory. And when you follow the thread, not in your mind, but through your body, you begin to loosen the grip. You begin to dissolve the illusion. You return to the only place truth can live, here, now, in the felt experience of being with what is. As you move through the rest of your day, I invite you to pause, even just for a moment, and ask, what seat am I in right now? Am I sitting in fear or presence? Am I reacting from ego or responding from truth? And in that noticing, remember, you don't have to force yourself into stillness. You just have to return. One breath, one choice, one moment at a time. Come back to your seat, the one that's been waiting for you all along. I choose to return to the seat of truth. I allow discomfort to become a doorway. I am no longer ruled by the voice of fear. I remember who I am. I remember why I'm here. I sit in my wholeness. And from this place, I live. The world will try to pull you in every direction. Ego will shout, emotions will rise, and stories will swirl. But underneath it all, there is a seat that doesn't move. It is not made of effort. It is not made of roles. It is made of stillness, of presence, of soul. And every time you remember, you return to the seat behind all seats, the one that holds the human and the divine, the one that knows even when you forget. Sit there, live from there, begin again from there. You don't have to stay in the seat that was built from fear. You don't have to keep performing for the story that was never yours. And you don't have to wait for stillness to be perfect, to return to it. Wherever you are, however you feel, you can always come back to the seat of truth, the one that holds the ache and the joy, the one that listens without rushing, without judgment, the one that remembers who you are even when you forget. If today's reflection stirred something in you, I invite you to stay with it a little longer. Let the thread keep unraveling. Let your breath stay close. You don't have to figure it all out. You just have to sit and listen. Thank you for joining me today. If this reflection served you, feel free to share it, subscribe for more reflections, or come back to it when you need to remember. Until next time, stay with yourself, stay with your breath, and take your seat. I'll meet you there.